Okay, so in this video, I made the Plants vs Zombie game on Scratch, and no, I didn't make a remake since that would be boring. Anyway, without further ado, let's just get into the video. I would like to mention something. Before making this project, I imported this sprite, so I don't have to import this code every time I make another sprite. Anyway. Okay, so the first thing I did is a plant. I just added some code that I think will be important for the future, and ended up making this. Yeah, that's pretty much the only code for the plant for now. Anyway, after this I decided to make the art for the pea shooter. It didn't take too long to make, it took like 30 minutes or something. After this I took a brick, so yesterday I didn't add anything, but 2 days ago I made the art for the pea shooter. I think today I'm going to code the pea shooter into the game, and I'm going to try to add as much thing as possible. So here I was basically just logged in, and I actually added up quite a lot of stuff. I made the animation for the pea shooter, the background for the first level, and placing plant. Yeah, it's not finished yet, but at least you see what I'm going for. Okay, so I didn't add it much in the next day. I only made the sun and this cursor that will be helpful for later. Anyway, let's get into the next day. Yesterday I did the sun into the game. I spent a bit too much time on making the sun, so I didn't make that you can place the plant yet. But now I think I'm going to make that you can place the plant, because right now it's not finished yet. Right now it's just like this. Okay, so after this I started working on when you can place the plant. It took a while, but it was worth it. By the way, here's the result. I made it that you can place the plant like this. I also made one for a 2-player. After this I took a break, and in the next day I did some stuff again. I made the shovel, and also I did a red line for 2-player. And a few days later I decided to start working on the zombie. It took a while to make, but I ended up making this. So in the next day I made it as a pea shooter can attack. I also made the sunflower. By the way, here is the result. So I just made the sunflower, and I also made that the pea shooter attack. I'm going to show it to you very quick. It's like this. Okay, so I guess I'll make the rest of the game tomorrow. So unfortunately I didn't record anything from the next day, so I'm just going to skip to this day. So yesterday I did the walnut and the potato man. I also made the snow pea, but I didn't finish him yet. So I'm going to continue the game now and add more plant. Okay, so here I was just working on some of the plant. So here is the result. I just made most of the plant. There is 2 plant that isn't done yet, but I'm going to make the rest of the plant tomorrow. And I finished the snow pea. I also made the fire pea shooter, and also I did the cherry bomb. I also did some custom plant that are into the original game. So I make the rest of the 2 plants tomorrow. Okay, so in the next day I did a lot of stuff to the game. I made the rest of the plant and also made the rest of the zombies. In the next day I did some stuff to the game. I'm just going to instantly show you the result. So I added a lot of stuff to the game. I made the lawnmower. Also made this bar that indicates the amount of zombie left. And also when this bar is halfway done, there is a twist. It's like this. So I guess I make the rest of the game tomorrow. Okay, so the next day, the only thing I did is the rest of the background for the game. And the next day, I started working on the boss fight. After this, I decided to start working on the music, but you may be asking, how did I even add the music in the first place? Before making this project, I made a working music creator on Scratch, and I'm going to use it for the music for the game. So here is the result. I made the first music for the game, and I'm going to make the rest of the music tomorrow. So for now, I'll show it to you. So I'm going to show this part, and okay, so I won't show the whole thing because it will take a while. So I'll make the rest of the music tomorrow. It actually took me 2 days to make all the music for the game. And after this, I just imported the rest of the music to the game. So, okay, so the next day I did night mode to the game, which is basically just a harder version of the adventure mode. And then the next day I started working on the plant selection screen. Just look at this. Anyway, after this, I did a description for every plant, so... Okay, so in the next day, I decided to start working on the main menu, and in the next day, I didn't add much besides fixing a few glitch, because it was New Year. Anyway, let's get into the next day. Yesterday it was New Year, so I didn't add much, but today I think I'm going to make the game a little bit harder because it's a bit too easy. So, I'm also going to make a 2-player online later. I didn't made online yet, but I made this 2-player mode, and I also finished the 7 vote button, and shortly after I made the thumbnail for the game, and after this I took a break. So in the next day I tried to make online, but for some reason it just wasn't working. I also made another project just to make sure, but for some odd reason it worked fine in TurboWarp. So my solution was to share the game, then remove online from the game, then make online, then share the game. Okay, so a few days later, I made online, so here is the result. I finished the online mode for the game, and it took a while to make, but I finished it. I'll show it to you a bit, and when I place a plant here, it also displays on the other screen, and also for the opponent. So I guess this game is pretty much done for now. So now this game is pretty much done. And also thank you for watching, and if you want to try this game for yourself, the link will be in the description. So see ya.